In today's world, people think success comes from talent or hard work, but that's only half the truth. The real world runs on something deeper: understanding people, reading moments, knowing when to speak and when to stay silent. This is a story about a man named Stephen, a young professional who learned these lessons the hard way. It's not a story about luck, it's about learning how life really works. Stephen wasn't from a rich family. He worked in a mid-sized company, loyal, quiet, always the first to arrive and last to leave. He believed effort alone would earn him success, but every time a promotion came up, it went to someone else, someone who smiled more, someone who knew people. He used to hate that word. Connections. He thought it was fake, manipulative. Until one dinner changed everything. That night, his boss, Harold, invited him to a business dinner with a big client. Stephen was nervous, proud to be included. He thought this was his moment to shine. The restaurant was elegant, the table full of expensive dishes. He watched how everyone spoke. Polite words, small smiles, quiet laughs. It looked simple, but underneath, everything meant something. At one point, Harold looked at Stephen and said, "Go check if there are any dishes missing." Stephen stood up immediately, but before he could move, another colleague whispered, "Wait, he's not asking you to check dishes. He's asking you to pay the bill." Stephen froze. He didn't understand. The food wasn't finished. Why pay now? But he trusted his colleague, went to the cashier, and paid. When he returned, the client smiled. Harold nodded subtly. The deal went through. Later that night, Harold patted Stephen's shoulder and said, "Good work today. The next project is yours." Stephen didn't celebrate. He just sat there thinking. So that's how it works, he thought. In the world of business, words hide meanings. Actions speak louder than effort. Weeks passed. Stephen got the project. He worked day and night, but his boss's trust wasn't built by skill alone. It was built by something invisible, understanding social rhythm. He began to notice the patterns. At dinners, check the dishes meant go pay. Pour some tea meant give us space. Try this dish meant change the topic. Each phrase carried weight. Each action built respect. He realized the world doesn't always reward who works the hardest. It rewards who understands how people think. When the project ended, Stephen received a bonus. Not huge, but decent. He was proud, but his wife reminded him, "You should thank Harold in person." He agreed, so they went to visit his boss's home. Stephen bought a bottle of liquor. Expensive, classy, appropriate. But his wife stopped him. "No," she said. "Give something to his wife instead." He frowned. "Why?" "Harold is the one who helped me." His wife smiled. "That's why." A man's trust grows faster through the person that he values most, so she bought a delicate silk scarf, beautifully wrapped. When they arrived, Stephen handed the gifts. Harold laughed. "Ah, more liquor, thank you." Then his wife opened her gift and smiled. A genuine, warm smile. "Beautiful. You noticed I like scarves." Stephen's wife nodded. "You mentioned it last dinner." That one gesture changed everything. The atmosphere softened. They were no longer just colleagues. They were a people. Later that evening, Harold said, most people only try to please me. But you understand respect. Let's work on another project together." After they left, Stephen's young colleague couldn't hold it in. "Why did you give the bonus money back to him? Are you crazy? That was your hard work." Stephen smiled calmly. "The project was mine, but the connection was his. Work can be repeated, relationships can't." That night, he said something his colleague never forgot. "Sometimes you must lose a little money to gain bigger trust. You can always make more money, but you can't always rebuild respect." Months passed. Stephen's career started to rise fast. He wasn't just working anymore, he was connecting. He learned how to give, how to read the room, how to value people beyond transactions. But life always finds a way to test what you've learned. One afternoon, he got a call. His young son had fallen off his bike. He rushed to the hospital, heart pounding. Thankfully, it was only a few scrapes. The doctor said a kind old man brought him in. He was found wandering near the main road. When Stephen saw who it was, he froze. It was Sandeep, the old janitor from their neighborhood. A quiet man, Stephen's wife often visited her, bringing fruit or small gifts whenever she could. "Sandeep," Stephen said, eyes full of gratitude. "Thank you." The old man smiled. "You've always been kind to me. When I saw your boy, I couldn't just walk away." That moment hit Stephen hard. It wasn't business. It wasn't about the power or gain. It was life returning kindness full circle. He remembered his wife's words from months ago. Small things can help in big ways. He finally understood. Upward connections build your future. Downward kindness protects your soul. From then on, Stephen changed. He no longer saw relationships as transactions. He saw them as threads in a bigger web of life. Every word, every action, every gesture built a bridge, up, down, sideways. He still worked hard. But now, he worked smart. He respected every person, from janitor to CEO, because life, he realized, doesn't care about titles. It cares about balance. Years later, Stephen became a leader. When young employees joined, he noticed the same fire he once had. Ambition, hunger, impatience. One night after a business dinner, he saw a young man sitting quietly, frustrated. "Sir," the young man said, "why do we have to act like this? Paying bills, bringing gifts, pretending to care. Isn't that fake?" Stephen smiled. "It's not pretending. It's awareness. People remember how you make them feel, not what you say." He paused, then continued. "True success isn't built on stepping on others. It's built on lifting the right people, respecting the small ones, and knowing when to listen." The young man nodded slowly. That night, something changed in him. The same way Stephen once changed. Life isn't just about working harder. It's about understanding deeper. Some people spend years trying to prove they're capable. Others learn how to make others feel valued. Guess which group rises faster? The truth is uncomfortable, but real. In life, every dinner, every word, every gesture is part of a bigger conversation, when most people never learn to hear. But if you do, doors open, people remember you. Opportunities come quietly. Lesson of the story. Success isn't just about hard work. It isn't just about talent. The truth is deeper. Success is built on understanding people. Because in the end, success belongs to those who master the invisible. Social intelligence, awareness, and the power of subtle communication. Understand hidden meanings. Not every word means what it says. Learn to read between lines. It's the quiet art of reading hidden meanings, of knowing what's really being said. Even when no one speaks, that skill opens doors. Effort never could. Respect both up and down. Respect your superiors with humility. Respect those below you with kindness. The first builds success. The second builds character. Give first, expect later. People who give without calculating often receive the most in the long run. Never underestimate small gestures. A simple gift, a kind word, a remembered detail. These are social currency. Be genuine. Tactics without sincerity collapse. Real relationships are built on empathy, not performance. In the end, Stephen's story isn't about strategy or manipulation. It's about wisdom. It's about knowing when to act and when to care. It's about giving value before asking for anything. And it's about understanding that success is not a solo climb. It's a dance with timing, empathy, and heart. So next time you sit at a dinner table or meet someone important, remember this story. The strongest people aren't the loudest. They're the ones who understand silence. And the smartest ones, they know. Every act of respect, every small kindness is an investment. In people, in trust, in life itself. That's how you rise. Not just in work, but in the world.